A warm good morning to each and every one who has joined us for this morning telecast. It is indeed a proud privilege and a pleasure to have you all on board for today's very important session. As you all know, we are conducting the first counseling session for MAL-001, the first paper of your MA Arabic program. And as always, we are indeed very fortunate to have with us our esteemed faculty from the School of Foreign Languages, Dr. Muhammad Salim, and along with him, we have been joined by Dr. Tufail Ahmad also. So I warmly welcome both of you to this show. And further, it is also my proud privilege to have with me Dr. Pramila O, Assistant Regional Director of our very own Regional Center, IGNOR Regional Center, Vadagara. So today, all the activities and all the proceedings will be handled by the two experts that we have on board from Delhi. So I will not take much of your time, but I will just remind you once again that it would be great if all the participants subscribe to our channel and also click the bell icon so that definitely all the latest notifications on this channel reach you and you do not miss any of the sessions which we are conducting. So without any further delay, let me welcome both of you once again to this counseling session, and I leave the floor open to Professor Muhammad Salim sir and Dr. Tufail Ahmad from the School of Foreign Languages to take over from me and further conduct the proceedings. And towards the end of this program, you'll take the queries of the learners as well. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rajesh, Senior Regional Director, Vatakara. Once again, privileged to have you here, sir.
Thank you.
And also, I am equally happy that ma'am has also joined. And welcome, ma'am. And welcome to our colleague, Dr. Tufail, who has just joined, and hope that both of us will be able to sail through smoothly. Okay, it's a joint venture, of course, and with the help and support of Regional Services Division and RD Dr. Rajesh, and in fact, active participation of all our learners, we will be able to, achieve our goal. So with this, I will start. And marhaban bikum jami'an. Sabah al khair. Dear learners, as you know, Arabic is one of the oldest languages of the world. It is a language of Semitic origin, Semitic branches. It belongs to Semitic languages. So like other languages, important languages of this branch are Hebrew, or like Ashurite, Babylite, Canaanite, okay, Al-Lugha Al-Kanahaniya, Al-Ashuriya, Al-Babiliya, all these. Perhaps many of these languages you have not heard much about these languages except Hebrew, perhaps. But these languages once upon a time existed, and they equally made contribution to the civilization of human beings. To the march of human civilization, credit should goes to these languages, important languages as well. Though these languages do not, are not in a shape or in form that we see other languages. So Arabic belongs to this branch. So this is min al-lughat as-samiyya. Al-lughat as-samiyya, Semitic languages. Okay. Hebrew is the languages which is spoken, people of Israel. So that is the languages which you are very much, perhaps you are aware of. But other languages like Ashurite, Babylite, or Canaanite, may not be that popular today. So Arabic originally was the part of this, but due to its, beautiful linguistic system and amazing literary traditions and its ability to move with the pace of time, Arabic language has flourished, and now it is spoken by almost more than 400 million people across the world. Also, this language is the national language of almost 24 countries, Arab speaking countries. Most of them belong to the Gulf region or West Asia, which you call sometimes even Middle East. Okay, so they belong, and some countries belong to North Africa, especially upper part that is called the Horn of Africa. So these are the countries which are Arabophone, Arabic speaking countries. Now, this language, there are two important aspects of this language. One, its origin as the ancient language, as one of the most important ancient languages of the world, one thing. And second, its ability to move with the pace of time and be able to effectively become the like a language of so many people who speak it, who understand it. So and also that is perhaps the reason that now for the 2-3 decades or more, it is the language of one of the 6 languages of the United Nations. Other languages like Spanish, like German, or Spanish, not German, Spanish, French, English, Chinese, and Russian. So along with these languages, Arabic is one of the 6 languages of the United Nations. It has a deep tradition in ancient days, pre-Islamic period, that is called Jahiliya period. Al-Ahadul Jahili. Al-Ahadul Jahili, that's Jahiliya period. So that period was marked by wonderful literary traditions. And classical Arabic literature flourished during those period. We cannot say that it began during those period, but even flourished, because the kind of the system and the tradition they have evolved over the years was responsible for making Arabic a wonderful, literary tradition. Even Jahiliya period, that is called the era of or age of ignorance. Okay, but not dark age. It was not dark age. In terms of literary tradition, in terms of flourishing the language or literature, if you talk about this, so it was a era of enlightenment. Like some of the finest poets of Arabic can be traced to those period, like poet like Imrul Qais, like Zuhair ibn Salma, like Nabagha al-Zubyani, like Tarfa ibn Abd, like Antara ibn Shaddad, like Khansa, like Labid ibn Rabi'a. So many leading poets of the period belong to that. Means, leading poets of Arabic belong to that period. And how could that period, which is called Jahiliya, Al-Hadul Jahili, or ignorance era, how could produce that period such great literary pillars and wonderful, poets? How could that happen? If we go to the classical Arabic books and great works that the people have compiled during medieval periods, we find that Arabs have very amazing literary tradition, and that was that they used to hold organized aswaq. Aswaq is souk. Souk is market in Arabic. Many of you are aware of it, I think. As-suq, qaf, not kaf. Qaf, this is, So as-suq is market. Aswaq is plural of that. Aswaq, markets. So they used to organize aswaq, markets, but not only for selling and purchasing the products and commodities. No. The more important purpose of aswaq during those period was to organize literary fests and invite some of the finest Arab poets of the time to participate in those literary fests. And most prominent and experienced and sometimes oldest poet of the time was or were appointed as judges of those literary sessions. Al-Musajala Shariya type, literary or poetic competition. So during those period, everyone, whosoever could, have some feeling, poetic inclination, always, considered it great honor to be part of that, fest. Not as always as, someone who recites the poetry or but as audience and people from across, nooks and cranny of the region used to participate with full vigor, passion. That was the tradition. So during those periods, some great, poems were rendered, and it is said, and we have, records. It is not something said in the air, but we have records of the same in several great, Arabic books or literary canons. Okay, in volumes and volumes, everything is recorded. Okay, that these literary fest invited finest Arabic poets, and they used to compete with each other. And there you have this, what we call al-muhallaqa as-sabha, 7 hanging poems or odes. 7 hanging poets. Now, muhallaqa, allaqa, yualliqu ta'liq. Allaqa means to hang. Muhallaqa, hanging. Okay. Why they called it al-muallaqat? Al-muallaqat as-sab'a or sab'a. We call generally sab'a muallaqa in our own parlance. But al-muallaqa, 7 hanging poems. In fact, during those poetic competitions, some of the gems of poetry were produced. And the tradition was that great poet of the time or the year is whosoever won that, competition was considered the poet laureate of the year. And his poem, long poem, of course, qasida, that is called qasida. The plural is al-qasaid. Al-qasaid, qasida. So qasida is one of the oldest forms of poetry in Arabic tradition. And from there, this tradition went to other languages and literatures, even ghazal, some forms of ghazal, genesis of ghazal, we call ghazal, can be traced to those qasida tradition. Okay, from that, ghazal traveled and flourished in Persian poetry, and from there in Urdu literature, it came to Urdu literature, and here you have some eminent, Urdu ghazal poets. But the ghazal, genesis of ghazal can be traced to Arabic, poetry, though it was not in this shape and form that we see today, but its origin can be traced to them. And to those poetic competitions which they organized for the sake of propagating and promoting the literature, okay, and especially poetry, because they were very much passionate about poetry from the very beginning, from the Jahiliyyah period. So what happened? Al-muallaqat, that we call the hanging odes. These muallaqats were compiled and even written with golden words and put on the main entrance of Holy Kaaba. So each and every year, the Nobel laureate of the period was declared Nobel Nobel laureate in literature or in poetry was declared, and the person was, you know, his poems or qasida were put on the main entrance, were written in golden words and put on the main entrance of Holy Kaaba. So the people who came for pilgrimage from across regions, they could see and appreciate the poetry, appreciate the work of this great, poet of the year. And the whole year, he was the Nobel laureate in poetry, Arabic poetry. Some sort of novel, okay, not in this that we have today, but of course, it means some sort of novel kind of the person was identified as such. And Imrul Qais was the first poet, or among the first, who had the honor of recognized being recognized like this. Okay, his poems were put on the main entrance. Of course, others were also. So, as I mentioned, the names like Zuhair ibn Salma, or uh, like Al Asha, or uh, mm, and many other poets that we just mentioned. So seven to sometimes seven, sometimes eight, even some people say 10. Okay, so this was the number of poets who got this honor. Okay, and what was the poetry like? We did not have this kind of tradition of prose writing. Poetry was like running like in the blood of the people. Even children used to recite poetry every day. So any child showing some promise for poetry, or having some inclination towards poetry, who used to compose some good lines, was easily identified by the tribes and the people, and they always thought that he is the person who will lead our community or our tribe, because the poet played multiple roles during those periods. He used to motivate the tribes to go for to perform sacrifice for the sake of tribes. He used to inspire the people. He used to entertain them, and he was like a central figure in that society and in their life. That is why poet was held in a great high esteem during those periods. And among the first poets and greatest, of course, is Imrul Qais, but he is considered by many, in fact, critics, that he is the greatest. Okay, Amirush, like Al Malik. Okay, he was the king, and as a king, he had his own adventures and his own life full of adventure and passion. So all those adventure and his adventure and passion is clearly reflected in his poetic renditions. So I will give you some, just let me recite, because this is not expected of you at this stage, of course, and you will come to learn about all these in the second year, where we will, certainly give you so much, things to read, understand, and appreciate the poetry of classical period, and we will give you enough material, okay, for you to learn and understand. And of course we will have some sessions so that you can admire the beauty and vitality of the poetic tradition of those period that you will have. But for the time being, in fact, let me just give you a taste of the of the poetry of the period. Just listen and try to just admire, or if you perhaps it will have some effect, some magic or some music, okay, some sort of it will move you certainly, or some rhythm, okay. And believe me that this is all that Arabs during those the all that poetic tradition that you have later phases, they all in fact tried their best to follow those, Okay, so they set the benchmark, and those were the people whose poetry was the golden poetry. Okay, every poet who could follow or imitate them, in fact, was considered a great poet. So now I recite from this Imrul Qais this poetry, few lines, initial lines. It is a long qasida, maybe hundreds of lines are there, and full of simile, metaphor, and wonderful literary expression that you hardly find in other poetic traditions. So lines are like this: قفا 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 نبكي من ذكرى حبيبي ومنزلي بسقط اللواء بين الدخول فحملي فتوضح فالمقراط لم يعفر اسمها فتوضح فالمقراط لم يعفر اسمها لما نسجتها من جنوب وشمال ترى بعر الآرام في ترى بعر الآرام في عرصاتها وقيعانها كأنها حب فلفل وقوفا بها صحبي علي مطيهم يقولون لا تحزن أسا وتجملي فإن بكاي عبرة محراقة فهل عند رسم دارس من محول فهل عند رسم دارس من محول أفاطمة مهلا بعد هذا التدلل فإن كنت قد أزمعت صومي فأجملي فإن تك قد ساءتك مني خليقة فصلي ثيابي من ثيابك تنصلي وما ذرفت عيناك إلا لتضربي بسحميك في أعشار قلب مقتل. And then he goes on to describe all these about the night and all these, how the night is casting this dark shadow, and it is really, you know, unbearable. I'm not able to stay. So all the وليل كموج البحر أرخى صدوله وليل كموج البحر أرخى صدوله علي بأنواع الهموم ليبتلي. Okay, so this فقلت له لما تمطى بصلبه وأردف عاجزا ونعاء بكلكلي ألا أيها الليل الطويل ألنجلي بصبح وما الإصباح منك بأنثلي. So these are the lines, okay, which are which are, which clearly demonstrate the ability of that great poet magician to create meaning in a period where we hardly had, those wonderful any facilities of life that are available today. And he's in an era which is called al-hadul jahili or ignorance era. He's shedding so much light in this so-called darkness. He's bringing so much beauty through wonderful rendition, through his poetic composition. It's fantastic, it's really marvelous. So these these couplets mention about his adventure, about his life full of passion, about his story of his life, even about the problems he faced in and difficulties he faced in his life, because his father was killed and he went out to take revenge, okay, from the people who had killed his father. So he just he always thought, kept in mind that he will not sleep properly or eat and drink properly until he takes the revenge. And he goes out searching for those people. And so life was full of difficulties for Ibn Qais, and he had to face all these. But and then you know then a passion for life, for enjoying all that is good, all that is available in the this life. So that also, so tragedy and comedy, personal tragedy and comedy. He wanted something beautiful to happen to his life, but many things, many factors led to the to the tragedy. His personal life, his all that good things or bad things are reflected in those poetic in those couplets. It's also, it contains the story, his love story with his beloved, and all this, how he you know went searching here and there, and how uh, you know he sacrificed even his camel for feeding his beloved, and all these things. Then he was without, he could not, without ride, he had no camel, so how to ride on. So he requested his beloved to take him with her and make him sit along with her. So all these, then those were the beautiful moments of his life, and all that he has mentioned. So but during this these poems and these lines give us some of the finest examples of simile and metaphor. Okay, he was the first person who gave everything, like who gave what we call tashbih, and uh, al majaz, al kinaya. All these things can be found in his poetry in full measure. Then Arabic, other Arab poets like Zuhair ibn Salma and others, they have their own. Each poet has his own style, own beauty. But the common tradition of the period was to start with this, like قفا نبكي من ذكرى حبيبي ومنزلي بسقط اللبا بين الدخول فحوملي, like asking uh, friends to just stop for a moment. Okay, the poet is moving from one place, to another, wandering from one place to another, and then he suddenly discovers the place where his beloved was, and he had some beautiful moment of his life, all that. So he says to his friends, stop qifa nabki, let me qifa nabki min dhikra habibi wa manzili, just stop, oh my friends, let's shed tears in the memory of the beloved. Okay, and in the memory of the place which they have left. So then he mentioned the بسقط اللواء بين الدخول وفومل. Then he mentioned the place, and exact where all this the memory, the place which has those wonderful memories, or evokes those wonderful memories. So all that was it. So I have just given you one example of that. This uh, poems like these were considered to be the gem of Arabic poetry during those time, and even today they are considered to be the literary gems. That is why they are called classical. So classical Arabic poetry, what is classical and what is modern? Classical is a poetry or a prose. When we call it prose classical, or a poetry classical, we call it, why do we call it? Because classical, which has left its imprints on the sand of time, which is not cannot be removed with the passage of time. The poetry which is continues to inspire, to evoke the memories, to help us cry and laugh, to be happy, to be sad, to feel good, to feel bad. All these, the poetry which can give you, that is the everlasting poetry. The powerful lines are still relevant. They continue to remain relevant. in terms of its meaning, in terms of its contents, in terms of the kind of the simile and metaphor used there, in terms of the poetic expressions, wonderful or amazing poetic expressions used there. All that continue to relevant, continue to inspire even today, continue to give us so much in terms of meanings, in terms of words, in terms of expressions, and so they are classics. Classics never die. So this was the condition of pre-Islamic poetry, which produced Islamic days, which we call even fairly or unfairly al-ahadul jahili ignorance era. But the same kind of the ignorance era which is producing so much wonderful literary tradition and giving us enriching our literature to such an extent. So all these, and of course there were other poets also, like Al-Khansa, who is lady poet, women poet. Perhaps no poet in the ancient, pre-Islamic period, in Islamic period, in Umayyad period, Abbasid period, perhaps no poet could match him in Ritha, al-Marthia, Marthia, what we call in Urdu Marthia, al-Ritha, Fannu Ritha, Ash'ar Ritha. Her brother Sakhar died in a war, and she was greatly pained. She was completely devastated with this, with the loss of her beloved brother, and the verses she composed, praising his brother, admiring his beauty, his, adventures, his courage, devotion, and dedication to the noble causes, his generosity, all these, nobody could praise the way she has praised, and those became the gems of Arabic poetry. Those lines also became gems of Arabic poetry. And of course, poets like Labid ibn Rabi'a, one of the finest poets who saw both Jahili period and Al-Ahadul Jahili wal Ahadul Islami, both in ignorance era also and Islamic period also he was there. Despite the fact that he stopped composing poetry the moment he saw the verses of Holy Quran, all that, it is another story. But the fact is that his poems continue to remain one of the finest philosophical lines ever composed. And sometimes, in fact, when I compare Shakespeare, Shakespeare was born, 800, 900 years after Labid ibn Rabi'a, and his poems on life. Shakespeare also has even given 7 stages of life and mentioned children born like man is born or woman born as child, then then adolescent, then young person, then middle ages, then post middle ages, then he mentioned 7 stages. Okay, and I do not have all these his lines before my eyes. Uh, so, but 7 stages are there in his life. So, or he mentions about life, like about the meaninglessness of life. Okay, all these. But the way Labid ibn Rabi'a had mentioned everything is totally marvelous. Okay, Balina, وما تبلى النجوم الطوالع وتبقى الجبال بعدنا والمصانع. Okay, with the passage of time, we completely become old. But why the mountains and stars moon, planets, things in the cosmos. Why don't they grow old? Why only we human beings? So he starts like this, okay? Why are we born so soon and then go? And then he mentions about this, birth and this how well, alaysa warai in tarahat maniyati, alaysa warai in tarahat maniyati, luzumul asa tuhna alayha al asabi'u. Okay, even if death is delayed, the person who was born will go. But even if his time is delayed, okay, alaysa warai in tarahat maniyati, even if this is delayed, entire this thing, isn't it there is stick waiting for us, which we lean on and we bend? So he's mentioning about the old age. Alaysa warai in tarahat maniyati, luzumul asa tuhna alayha al asabi'u, luzumul asa, the stick we have to hold, and our fingers twisted on it. Okay, isn't it the reality of the life? But why that all this not happening? I don't see the mountain growing old the way we grow old, not like celestial bodies, not this earth and sky. Then he starts these questions, why, and then goes deep into the meaning of life and all that. That is Labid ibn Rabi'a. I'm just giving you a few examples to demonstrate the fact that during those ignorance era or al-hadul jahili, poets could compose some of the marvelous poetry, and those poetries continue to remain the gem of Arabic poetry, and continue to inspire even all the poets and literary men even today. There is hardly any great poet who has not drank from the same well, who has not tasted that wonderful literary compositions. Now this was poetic, but in prose, what was happening there? In prose, you had an-nathar ash'ar al-arabi, that is poetry, classical poetry, an-nathar al-arabi, Arabic prose. People were more passionate about poetry. Prose was only in the form of sermons, or maybe some letters writing or something like this. Okay, not much. We do not have much records of prose of those periods except these sermons which are available. So some of the great men who were famous for their sermons are available. In fact, their sermons are also available, and their, but compared to poetry, those they pale in significance when you compare with poetry. Poetry was the dominant form, dominant genre. It attracted the people, and it continues to attract the people even today. Then you had what we call Islamic period, where we have some poets, leading poets, but those poetic traditions which were available or prevalent during Jahiliya period, they those traditions, because of revelation of Holy Quran and presence of prophet and his companions who were great in fact in their own speech and in their own. So even some poets could not match those, the kind of the in that in eloquence and in al-fasaha wal balagha, what we call, okay, in they could not match. And there was not that much encouragement for poetry, except Sha'arul Rasul, like Hassan ibn Thabit or Ka'b ibn, okay, poet. So all these few poets are there who shone during those period. But poetic bent of mind and trend of appreciating the poetry was there. All great caliphs and all of them, they always miss they used to recite some couplets occasionally. They used to quote even poets. And Hassan ibn Sabit was a Shahru Rasul, poet of the Prophet even. Okay, so all that was there. Then we had Umar ibn Rabia, who was one of the finest ghazal poets of the time. He flourished during Islamic period, Al-Hadul Islami. Later on, you know, uh, other when we move to the Umayyad period, we have poets like Jarir, Farazdaq, Al-Farazdaq, Al-Akhtal. So there was, there were poetry flourished because of several reasons. One was the, again, as I mentioned, that from the very beginning, Arabs have that poetic bent of mind. They always admired the poetry, and that never died. Okay, so that revived because of this little kind of the society and the, that was there. So in the courts of caliphs and most these poets were given patronage, and sometimes they got rewards for their works and for their creative activity. So they sometimes had stiff competition among themselves, and there was a competition for who is the best poet of the time. So for this they used to condemn other poets, okay, that he does not have that much so always just making praising oneself and downgrading other person. That was also one of the features of those periods of the poetry. Prose also flourished at the same time, and again, not only in the field of khutbah or sermons, but also in other like letter writing or uh, divan. Uh, each caliph or in courts, you always they used to have some writers who wrote all the reports of their daily activities and everything in Arabic language. So that also prose flourished during those periods. Then we have Great Abbasid period, where you have further expansion of entire this Arab Sultanate and all this, and there people from across world went to courts or to the major cities like Baghdad, where they uh, translated some of the finest works in philosophy, in literature, in mathematics, in geometry, in astronomy, astrology, or many other fields and areas. All the Greek knowledge and uh, Roman knowledge from India, from China, from other parts of Egypt, from other parts of the world. All this knowledge was, transferred to Arabic language through the translation. So translators, and then Mamun son of Harun al-Rashid, established Baitul Hikmah, though sometimes it is said that Harun al-Rashid himself was the person who initiated the process of establishing the Baitul Hikmah. Baitul Hikmah is the house of wisdom, and this attracted a huge number of great literary men, philosophers, poets, translators, men of art, and later on it happened. It attracted. So, and he gave patronage to everyone. Some of the finest works of great Greek philosophy, Greek knowledge tradition, Roman knowledge tradition, Indian and Chinese knowledge system, they were translated into Arabic. And because of translation, some of these works survived. For example, Panchtantra, which went from India. So Panchtantra, that uh, once means that was translated from Sanskrit into Persian, and from Persian it was translated by Ibn al-Muqaffa into Arabic during Abbasid period. And thanks to the translation that this work survived. Not only they translated, Ibn al-Muqaffa translated the work, but from into the he added to the original 5 stories some more than 10 stories to the original text. And now Panchtantra, that is now in Arabic called Kalila Dimna. In a course of time, you will come to know about this, and we will give you slowly the study materials. You will read a lot about all these, not only about this writer, about these great poets. You will read about history of Arabic literature and everything. We will slowly give you. But I'm just giving you a glimpse of the things. Okay, just preparing background for you to so that you are able to understand whenever you start when you come to reading all these. So Ibn al-Muqaffa was the person responsible for translating Panchtantra, which was translated earlier from Sanskrit to Persian. From Persian or Pahlavi, that is the old Persian, Ibn al-Muqaffa translated into Arabic. He knew Persian very well. He was originally Persian, in fact, but he was very, he mastered in Arabic language to such an extent that whatever work he has produced is considered to be the marvel of Arabic literature even today. His book Kalila Dimna, that is, translated version is called Kalila Dimna. This continues to inspire literary men even today. Across the world, this book is almost part of Arabic syllabus. So I will encourage all our students that after some times you also start reading this. This is very simple. These are very simple stories, and the usloob or the style is so simple and beautiful that you will admire it. These are anecdotes, fables, and all these told through the mouth of animals and birds. And not only you will have a lot of entertainment and you enjoy reading, but also in the process you will learn Arabic expressions. Some of the finest Arabic expressions can be found in the book. Okay, that will help you in speak Arabic language in day-to-day life situations. This is so simple and so beautiful. Okay, so always I will recommend everyone to purchase this one, Kalila Dimna, and as additional reading, you should read Kalila Dimna by Ibn al-Muqaffa. That is available in India. Okay, you can easily purchase, or even online it is available. You can access online. It is available free. So Ibn al-Muqaffa was the person. I'm giving the example that how great men attract where went to those courts and they produce some of the finest literature. Even poetics. Suppose poetics of Aristotle, Fannushar, what you call Aristotle. So poetics of Aristotle survived because it was translated by Ibn Rushd. Okay, he discovered the text and translated. Otherwise, we hardly could be able to understand Aristotle much, especially his great ideas on poetry, which continue to inspire even not only world literature, means not only Arabic and other tradition, but especially Western people benefited a lot from the works of uh, poetics translated by Ibn Rushd. He translated and put his own commentary and all that, and several other texts. In fact, they were discovered and translated. So thanks to these literary men and great people who took up undertook the work of translation, and who preserved the knowledge, in fact, which was perhaps dying, or perhaps which we could have lost. That is how the knowledge transfers from one region to another. Then during those periods, even Arabian Nights, Alf Laila wa Layla, many of you might have heard about this book, Alf Laila wa Layla, Thousand Nights and One Night. So this book, the work of Alf Laila wa Layla, many of these stories are from Indian origin, like Sindbad, Sindh, named Sindh, a Sindh wal Hind book. Okay, that was one of the oldest books written on India, as Kitabu Sindh wal Hind. Sindh, okay, Sindh from the river Indus. So Sindh. Now Sindbad Jahazi or Sindbad, okay, that is story, that is original Indian story. Okay, then you have stories from Egypt, from other parts of the world. Okay, so how the knowledge moved from one part of the another, and people benefited during those period. So the good thing about the caliphs of Abbasid period was that they always patronized knowledge. They attracted the poets and literary men, as they attracted some men of religion and men of wisdom. So they gave shelter to everyone, and wanted to make this tradition of knowledge very much living and tradition. And we still continue to have the fruits of those. They have compiled, in fact, thanks to those people, we have all these great works of literary canons in Arabic available today, like what we call al masadir al arabiya, al maraji al arabiya. Okay, Arabic resources. We create literary heritage, or a knowledge heritage, that is available in the form of even libraries today, both in hard copies and soft copies available. Okay, so that was the knowledge collected, compiled, and preserved during, and even produced and added during those periods. Books like Kitabul Aghani, book of songs, maybe more than 10 volumes. Then you have Al Iqd al Farid, unique gems, Kitabul Iqd al Farid, Lebdin Abd Rabbi, that were produced in Andalusia. Okay, that book, Kitabul Al Iqd al Farid. Then you have Kitabul Kamil lil Mubarrad. Then you have Al Jahiz, great literary person, pillar of literature in Arabic literature. Al Jahiz, Osman ibn Bahr. Al Jahiz, he was the person responsible for producing some of the great, like Kitabul Haywan, the book of animals, Kitabul Bukhla, Kitabul Bukhala, book for misers. Even he, compiled the stories of all the misers of his periods. So, and it is very interesting. Okay, you will just read and laugh it. Okay, if you cannot read Arabic, that is very difficult Arabic. Okay, it was, but English translation perhaps is available in online. So some of you, if you have time, you can read. Okay, you will enjoy this. He wrote about the किताबुल बुखला, बखीलों के बारे में अपने जमाने के. Okay, bakhil, all the miser people of his time. So interesting tales about those people. And Kitabul Haywan, as I mentioned, okay, the book of animals. Kitabul Bayan wa Tabin, the book of eloquence, how to and these are some of the finest works ever produced in Arabic literature. And about Jahiz al Jahiz, it is said that he was genius, no doubt. Okay, nobody could match him in literature, or writing, prose writing during his period. But he was very ugly person, very ugly looking, very ugly, and very fat body and heavy, and eyes bulking, and all these nose like wide nose, and very 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 ugly person. Okay, so once upon a time he was sitting at his home in complete meditation, as if the he was having some peaceful time at his home. Suddenly, a woman knocked the door. He opened the door, wanted her to, means asked her to come. She came with a goldsmith. Goldsmith or a saiq means, yeah, goldsmith. Okay, small. So she came with and said, "Hakada, hakada," like this. So Al-Jahiz, in his famous book Al-Bayan, Kitab Al-Bayan with Tabeen, he writes, first, very in the first beginning, he mentioned, it is mentioned, this story is mentioned, that when the women said, "Hakada," like this man, he asked her to stop, stay for a while, and okay, who tell about her and all this Sayyid, Miss Goldsmith that was with her, who was with her. So she just went away. She did not stop. After a while, he could not understand this, this all this. What is this? She comes and just says, like this man. What exactly she was pointing out and what she wanted. Then he discovered after some time that this woman wanted a statue of devil, shaitan, a small statue of devil. And she went to the goldsmith, gave her all this material, jewelry, everything, and wanted him to make one for her. But goldsmith apologized that I do not have any, picture in my mind. How can I, you know, make devil? Because it is a figment of imagination. Only it is imagination. I have no actual picture before my eyes. I cannot understand how to do. Then she said, "Okay, so come with me. I will show you." And she took him along with her and came to the home where came to the house of Al-Jahiz, and then she said suddenly, "Hakada," like this man. Okay, so Al-Jahiz has written that that day was the most humiliating day for me. Okay, that I I was made, when devil. Uh, so but despite having this ugly, all these features which he had no control over, he was, finest Arab literary person, and the best even literary things that we have today can be traced to Al-Jahiz. His, especially his Kitab al-Bayan wa Tabeen, Kitab al-Haywan. Just imagine during those, 7th, 8th century AD, during those periods, he was writing about a book of animals. He's writing about all these, and it does not have only stories about animals and its features and all these. It also has other information as well. It's like encyclopedia, okay, of the period. So when you read, Arabic literature, and you uh, in the passage of uh, time, with the passage of time, you will learn all this. You will come to know about all these people. Okay, there are many more poets and more, Ibn al-Hamid, Abdul Hamid, okay, great writers, and then Al-Mutanabbi, then Abul Ala Al-Ma'arri, then Ibn Rumi, then uh, Abul Atayhiya, many more in fact. Okay, and then you will come to the modern period. Miss, I'm just giving example. You can for details you can see our uh, you know chapterization or units, or even you can say small syllabus that we have put on our IGNOU website, ignou.ac.in. You visit their School of Foreign Languages, and they will find uploaded our entire this first year, second year. Of course, we will add some more you know uh, 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 courses over a period of time, but for the time being I think this is enough for you. So you go through those and you will understand, even you will come across some of these names also there. Okay. And we have separate units for all these, so you will read in detail about all these people, and about this history of Arabic literature, Arabic poetry, Arabic prose, uh, all these you will come to know. Okay. Then we come to the modern period, where we have some of the finest poets and literary men. So you have this Mahmoud Sami al Barudi, you have Hafiz Ibrahim, you have Ahmad Shauqi, you have uh, Shukri Mazini, Abbas Mahmoud al Aqad. Then you have writers like Taha Hussain, again Abbas Mahmoud al Aqad, among the writers also. Then you have uh, Ahmed Amin, you have Mustafa Lutfi Manfuluti, you have Najib Mahfouz, who got Nobel Prize, was a Nobel laureate in Arabic literature, got the Nobel Prize in the year 1988 in Arabic. Then you will have Mahajar literature, Khalil Gibran, Ilya Bumadi, Mikhail Noema, then Rabita al-Qalamiyya, al-Usbal al-Andalusiyya. You will learn about the movements, literary movements. All that will happen. Okay, you will learn all this over a period of time. But of course, patience and hard work, these two are the key. I know that many of you are busy. You are doing your own studies in different fields. Perhaps you are doing job. You are engaged in some other important activities of your life. You might be at a very prime stage of your life, trying to do so many things at the same times, managing so many issues, solving so many problems, working with so many difficulties. Every day, you have so much to do. Modern life is very exciting, but at the same time very challenging. It has so many solutions, but at the same time it has so many problems, and all the solutions bring so many problems. All the problems bring some solutions as well. So this is the reality of life, and navigating in this rough current of water of the life at this stage is indeed very difficult, and doing justice for everything, managing everything, is at the same time very difficult for everyone. So I am very much aware. I know that you are in this stage of life, and you have to balance everything. We might be having some you know both male students, female learners, and they have their own responsibilities and so many works managing everything. But what we can do to the best of our ability is to make sure that you make everything very simple for you to learn, and try our best to reach you through whatever means available to us, and give you the best. We do have our own limited time and resources, and our own things. But as I said earlier, in the first session, in the introductory session, that despite the limitations, we will try our best to do everything possible for you. So focus on your studies, and we will start giving you. I wanted to just dispatch the at least six initial units. So we will be mailing on Monday. Okay, all these units, and rest are in pipeline. We will be slowly. I think very soon you will get all the study material of the first year. Uh, but since you will be reading one by one. You will not be starting from the very seventh or ninth unit or 12th unit. You will start from the very first unit. So we will give you the initial units. Try to go through each and every unit, every and come with full preparation in every session. The more prepared you are, the more you benefit from it. Even if you are not much prepared due to some engagements and other, still you can join the session. Perhaps you will benefit from it, or you can listen the recorded session. Better join live and engage in discussions. Okay, that will benefit you. That will help you gain confidence and too much gain proficiency in Arabic language. So live sessions are have their own advantages, and utilize this platform and learn Arabic language. In case of any difficulties, any problems for academic things, all that we will be there. Okay, certain things yes got delayed, but we that was not too much in our control. We because of the limited time, as I mentioned earlier, also that we had very limited time. At least we should have 2 years to prepare for this MA, but that could not happen. Okay, but the good thing is that delay could have caused further delay to you as well, because your enrollment you could have joined maybe July to 2023, then perhaps you could lose, would have lost one more year. So again, advantage disadvantages. I know that some of you sometimes may feel frustrated, sometimes disappointed that what is it, all this and how can I? But always, be positive and uh, continue to work for this. Uh, we will not fail in giving you the initial study materials on Monday, and then next session we will have this discussion on everything. We will start from, because the first we will not touch upon these, just I have given you background of Arabic and all that, so that's why I touched upon all these themes and then gave you a overview of Arabic literature, just to make sure that you understand in fact the language that you are have adopted, and prepare yourself accordingly. Okay, just to give you a background of all this, but we will start from the advanced proficiency, communicative proficiency, and first we will focus on helping you speak Arabic language. So units are designed in the same fashion, and we have units like tahiyya wa taharuf, means greetings and introductions in Arabic. So how to greet in Arabic and all that, it will be happen. Okay, it will uh, you will come next session with the full preparation on this. uh, so with this I end my this part, and uh, rest we can take some questions if you have questions related to like support system. So I am very happy to note here that Dr. Rajesh is senior RD, is very active and very passionate and available here. So he will be really backbone for all of us, in terms of support services, and in terms of all these academic things related to all these assignments, projects, and everything that we are going to do, we will handle it, and we will give you. But little patience is needed at this stage, and hope that you shine.
Thank you, sir. I feel that was a very good introduction to the whole scheme of studies that will be introduced later on. But frankly speaking, I was also quite fascinated with some of the things that you are talking about today, including that book of Misers, which is something which was quite novel to me and something which I have never heard of, and many other things. Right from the initial poets and all that you were talking about. It was really interesting. In fact, I was also closely monitoring the chat box, which was running concurrently. So one of the things that many students were requesting for is a WhatsApp group. If Tufail Ahmad sir and you also could plan it out, maybe for the whole of the country, a chat a group can be formed on WhatsApp. And many students were requesting for that. So if you could kindly think about that, that will be great. A lot of queries could actually be solved on that chat group.
No issue, sir. Definitely we'll do that. We'll make a group and definitely we'll add all the learners in that group.
Yeah, that will be great, because that is because many students are thinking of private chats and all that. We do not endorse private chats as such, so we need something of an official chat from your end, sir. So kindly add the mobile numbers onto a WhatsApp group, because as far as RC Vadagara is concerned, the data has also already been transferred to your end. I hope you have received it, sir.
Yeah, we have received
Yes,
the
yes,
data,
okay.
and we
Yeah.
have also received the data of all the from
Oh,
RSD of all the
wonderful.
students.
Yeah.
So we have
So,
received it, and with all the email and everything. So we will send the units to the mail of students.
yeah, and also the mobile numbers are also there, so a WhatsApp group can also be formed. That will be easier, I suppose.
Yes, yes, definitely we'll do that.
Yeah, yeah. There is one query. This is more of an administrative nature. So kindly, if you could see that. But if I could get the study material at the earliest, it would be super fine. Of course, that's what sir was just mentioning. By Monday, they are going to send it by mail, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir. Definitely we will send out all the stream 5 units. I think initially we will send 5 units on Monday
Oh,
itself.
that will be great. At least I can start with it, I suppose.
Yes, yes, yes.
Any other academic? Sir was discussing about so many things related to poetry, prose, and all that. If the listeners have any academic doubts, kindly put it on the chat so that we can display just like this, and sir
Yes.
can give the reply. And for the information of learners, we have also put the link for the program guide of MARB on this chat box, so that you can access that, and the learners can actually benefit from viewing what are the components of this program. And in
Yes.
fact, in the first session, we had already mentioned about the modalities of the program, but in a more broader way, you can understand the modalities of the program from this particular um, uh, document, that is the program guide. The link we have already provided on the chat box. So,
Okay, students can also ask some questions related to because this was very much introductory in nature, this session, and we wanted to introduce you to give you overview of this, the literature and this Arabic. I wanted you to introduce Arabic language and literature. So if you have questions related to any aspect of Arabic language or literature, you are most welcome. Or any other thing related to this program, even MA in any question you can ask, or any doubt.
I think because it's the okay, maybe because it's the initial session, people are still in the process of understanding the basics, and maybe once the study
Yeah,
material is also received, the next session,
yeah,
I think we can expect a lot of queries, maybe after going through the study material, because that time the students actually understand a lot of this. So
Yeah,
I feel we'll be expecting a lot more queries in the next session.
yeah.
okay, okay. Yes.
And now the most of the queries are mostly of an administrative nature, with regard to the study material, with regard to the WhatsApp group, and so on and so forth. So I couldn't find any real academic query of this, but administrative queries are also equally important. So
Yeah.
I think those aspects we have already mentioned. Uh, okay, that is a similar query has just come here as well. If a WhatsApp group is created, we can share and share. We can contact you easily. Of course, that's what we are talking about. And Tofail Ahmed sir will definitely work on this aspect.
Yes, sir, sure.
Okay, there is another query. That is, I have a doubt. How much? Maybe he means how many assignments in a year?
Yeah, each course, because initially we have this, 4 courses, in this first year Arabic. So you have and 3 courses and one, complete project. So for each, course, you need to submit one assignment. So you will be submitting 3 assignments, okay, and one project. The topic will be, there are broader topics that are available on, website, but we will give you some, smaller topics as well related to the same, and you can select so that you have the choice, before you can select, and you have to do search study material. These things, so much in Arabic or related to Arabic is available online also. So you can, you will search, you will study, you will, uh, do the projects according to the guidelines that you will provide, and submit those. That will be, one full course of any among these 4 courses. One is project, so one full course is project, and 3 courses are, will have assignments. So first year you will submit 3 assignments. Similarly, second year also you will submit 3 assignments, and again another project there. Okay, so 2 projects and 6 assignments in these 2 years.
This is one another query, but I don't know how far we can address it. Please, Bengali plus English, both medium, use lecture in for West Bengal students. That is one problem that we will face
Yeah,
throughout, because
yeah.
the students are from different parts of the country. This can be an
Mm.
issue, but maybe we like to take the help of the local regional center there for effectively dealing with this.
Yeah, for the time being, I think some of you students who know, maybe at least 1 or 2 students who are good in English as well as in local language, they can at least facilitate us and translate whatever we are, saying here in this. So it will be available perhaps on YouTube, and it will be in recorded form. So you can translate for other students. You can some interpretation kind, you can say, if some student can volunteer and even come forward and do this, that will be, better for students who are not able to understand in English or Arabic in the initial days. So
We can also, sir, we can also assist them in Hindi and or Urdu if they understand, rather than Bengali.
yeah, Hindi and Urdu, if you understand, then that can easily
Yes.
be done from our side. But since we do not know Bengali language or even Malayalam, so Dr. Rajesh, for learning Malayalam, I need to come to your place. Okay.
Sure, sir. You are most welcome.
So you spend a couple of weeks there, and then
Yeah. In
so
fact, one of the questions that some of the students were asking with regard to the project was that whether they need to take a guide, and if it is a guide, whether it is a local guide, and if there is a list of guides. This was something someone was asking me last week. So, any clarification on this?
see, we are not in this guide business. At this stage, guide, we will not have in, printed or even online guide type of thing, but we will guide you, to do the projects. Okay, so we'll give you the topics and certain guidelines, and the you have to search the material and read, go through all this material, and then write your own on your own. So not supposed to take means copy from any side. Okay, So that is why after doing this, first course, second course, third course, fourth is the project one. So by the time you start doing your projects, you will gain proficiency if you are sincere and dedicate time for this Arabic learning. You will gain proficiency to understand a project. We may have some flexibility, suppose allowing some students to do projects in maybe not only in Arabic but also in English, provided the content is related to Arabic language and you cover the topic. That is quite possible, uh, but you have to do it on your own. That is
So
the
the question was related to research supervisor. Actually, whether
yeah,
they
yeah.
have to select a research supervisor before writing the synopsis and all that.
Yeah, not at all. That is not possible at this stage, because given the number of these students, had there been 50 or 100 students, perhaps you might have thought about this and given some. But this stage is very difficult to allot a supervisor for this purpose. Okay, so all that you will do is to follow the guidelines, okay, and do your own, because we do not have that resource, that much people available here who can give individual students, because suppose 300 400 students are going to appear in exam and they all want to submit their projects and everything. So it will not be possible, in fact, at this stage. Had we had full-fledged department type of things, many faculties, we could have distributed the work among them, and then, but that is not, as I told you, as a faculty I am only one, and then Dr. Tufail is there, so you can count as two persons, but two persons cannot handle everything. So you have to do, and I think guidelines will help you a lot. Okay, so it's not like a PhD writing or a thesis writing or even dissertation writing of MPhil. No, not. It's like something like you read certain thing on a certain topics for a period of time and keep jotting down the important information that you have gathered, and then put it in your own words. Okay, in your own words, don't copy as it is. Okay, and give the references of the things with proper conclusion and all that, that whatever you have concluded with this. So this is all. We will also give some methodology part, that how you do it.
One question is related to the exam model. What will be the model of the examination? This is asked by Swali Shah.
Mhm.
She's
Yeah,
asking about the
examination.
model.
This is offline exam, and as per Miss IGNOU exam system, uh, offline exam where you have to attempt the question paper, but this is not like objective type questions, or MCQs type. No, you have to write the exam, because had we gone fully online, so IGNOU model right now is to go for MCQs, and that exam is conducted by NTA, National Testing Agency, and question papers are formed in like MCQ type questions. So but here other rest of the ODL system we follow is like subjective questions, okay, where we give the question, you have to write with pen and paper mode. Okay, so that will be okay. Exam center, you will visit exam center, allotted exam, and then write with the, so you will have your paper in your hand and write the exam.
I suppose there will be essays as well as short answer type
Yeah,
questions and
yeah, 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 certainly paragraphs and all these, okay,
yeah.
and paragraphs to understand and then give the answers and all that. Then translation from Arabic to English and English. So every question, then some poetry and some lines, okay, some paragraphs related to Arabic prose and all this, and questions on those. Okay, then the history of Arabic literature and all that, questions on that. So different courses will have different type of questions. Yeah, but this is a very good question, because this is first time that we are you are going to face this. You do not have any model, okay, for, because once this is executed first year, then you will get the model, okay, of the kind of the question that you are supposed to answer. So but we will try our best to orient you, okay, to give you before exam some sort of small orientation, so that you are able to prepare yourself accordingly.
Yeah, Mohammed Sharaf Hussain, he's asking whether there are scholarships available for each state has its own policy. And for example, states like Kerala, for economically and socially weaker sections, state government is providing scholarships for which you have to apply separately to the welfare department. And for each state, I'm sure there will be different schemes available. The best thing is if you could contact your local regional center and obtain information about the scholarship schemes available, then it will be helpful to you. Because each state, the kind of scheme available from the state government is entirely different. So there is nothing uniform about these things. So kindly visit your nearest regional center. They will be able to give you the solution for your question.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, please. And another question is every monthly classes will be posted on YouTube? Of course, whichever session we are taking on YouTube, that will be available on the same link, which has been provided to you earlier. You don't have to search for the link, a new link or anything. Whichever link has been provided to you earlier, on the same link you will be having the recorded session. So please don't worry about that.
And I had this idea in mind that this first year sessions, maybe like practical sessions like translation and interpretation sessions, is teaching translation and all that. That course should be handled, at regional center level, and because that is more practical. Okay, but like sessions like communication skills, advanced communication skills on modern Arabic literature and all that, some courses, I think I think I should continue it, because this will parallel YouTube, these videos will help students a lot. So each session, suppose we take first unit next in a week. So first unit I will teach you, and you will come with full preparation and all that, and then it will become a great supplementary digital resource. So I think with each unit, our lectures or our teaching here, or counseling, that will become a supplement to students, who that can even maybe later utilized by students. So if Dr. Rajesh agrees, I think this can be continued.
Sure. We are all for it, and I feel at least for the first batch, it will give a very strong foundation, and this can be used later on also.
Later on, So this will serve some purpose of also, which we earlier used to give, like video material and all this. Of course, we have some good people who will give you some sounds, Miss Arabic, all this. But till then, you have at least take me as a resource, okay, and use all these which I'm going to speak in Arabic, or say in Arabic. All these will be useful. I hope will be useful for all our learners.
Another request from Elana Mubarak. He is requesting for a good Arabic English dictionary.
Yeah. So Arabic English, we see there are several good dictionaries, like Al-Mawrid is very good dictionary. Okay, both it's Al-Mawrid al-Arabiyya wal-Ingliziyya من الإنجليزية إلى العربية ومن العربية إلى الإنجليزية من الإنجليزية إلى العربية. Al-Mawrid, that is good, for you. If you can purchase that, it will be really good. Otherwise, you can have this Al-Mahani. Okay, Al-Mahani is available on internet, and it's very good dictionary, very good. It has everything, and easily available, accessible. You can Google, okay, Al-Mahani, Qamus al-Mahani. So that is available. And if you want only Arabic, dictionaries, then there are good dictionaries, Al-Qamus al-Muhit, and then good dictionaries. Al-Munjid also is equally good. So these dictionaries are useful. But I recommend that you access this Al-Mahani. You can download that, okay, or you can access whenever you time. Just type the word and you will get meaning in Albania only. Okay, these days it is so popular and so common. So accept that if you are purchased, so the good dictionary Almori is good. Okay, or Alcoan is also good dictionary. Alcoan. So any of these will work.
Another question is, in which language shall we attempt the examination, Arabic or English?
Yeah, that is a very good question, and that at this stage we have not, finally, because we do not know the level of these students. Okay, if we make it compulsory in Arabic, then perhaps it will be difficult for many students to attempt, and pass the examination. So like you will have questions like it will differ from paper to paper. Like paper one, advanced communicative communication skills, so you have here Arabic, okay, expressions and all that. So here you will write in Arabic. Okay, most of the sentences and most of the things you're expected to write in Arabic only, not in other language. But when it comes to paper translation, so of course Arabic English translation and vice versa, that will be there. Then suppose there is a paper in history, Arabic history or Arabic literature, so where we want you to tell about like Arabic prose in a Basit period, or development of Arabic poetry during Umayyad period, or classical Arabic poetry, pre-Islamic poetry. You want some are there some questions are there. So those questions can be attempted in English, okay, because they are the most, we are not concerned about with your testing your language. In fact, we are more concerned about the information that you have got or the knowledge that you have gained. So it will differ from nature, paper to paper, but questions will be bilingual, okay, Arabic and English.
Yeah, that's a very important information, because students would be confused as to which language they would be writing the examination. You have clarified that. That's very, very important, even at this
Yeah,
stage. So that as I gradually proceed towards preparation for the term and examinations, they will have a clear view as to what to
yeah,
expect in the examinations.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so for today, these are the questions which were put forth by our learners. I'm sure from next week onwards, there will be more academic questions in place. And I think with your kind permission, we can wind up the session. Any final
Yeah, yeah,
thoughts?
sure. Yeah, this is all. And today, just I did not want to, I really wanted to entertain everyone. Okay, but given the kind of entertain with a lot of, poetry and lot of stories and anecdotes of Arabic, because this was the first day, so I wanted to, make you passionate to learn. But the given the nature of this course and everything, and all that is this long history. Okay, Arabic language and its literature has long history and its own pre-Islamic period, Islamic period, then Umayyad period, then Abbasid period, then modern period, and among modern period also different. Okay, and then during Abbasid period, then you have Andalusian poetry and all those periods. So it's a long history. So just I wanted to give our learners some, background or uh, something related to this, Arabic. Especially, I focused on Arabic literature, but this is not the only thing that you are going to learn. The most important thing will be, we will start with not with literature. We will start with not with grammar. We will start with communication. Okay. So first paper we will focus on this, helping you communicate in Arabic language effectively and with full accuracy and confidence. Okay, that will be our main goal, and then slowly we will move to this literature and all that. But so first session, I wanted just to be little, not that kind of serious things. Okay, so that is why I chose this thing, okay, to give you background in Arabic literature, and so that I can narrate also, miss recite some poetry as well before you, Arabic poetry.
Yes, sir. And Tofail, sir, any final thoughts from your end?
But I would request the learners that you should join the session before you should go through the units. Otherwise, it will not benefit you. the more you study, the more you learn. So request all the learners to go through the units before the joining the session. And that's it from my end. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Pramila, madam, any thoughts from your end?
Yes, a very excellent session conducted by Mohammed sir. Thank you, sir, for that. And also for the
Thank you.
students, the program, thank you, sir. For the students, the program guide is very important. Our request is to read that program guide today itself, because the link for that program guide is already available to them, and it will give them an idea about what the MA Arabic demands from them. That's all, sir. All the best to our students. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Over to sir.
And just one thing, don't forget to download this any our units and all that structure that we have given on that's uploaded on our IGNOU website, their School of Foreign Languages. So download from there and prepare yourself for the next session or the first this unit that will be an tahiyya wa ta'aruf, is greetings and introductions in Arabic. So you can go through several websites are available. Okay, the videos of Al-Maha is very good Palestinian teacher girl. She's teaching very well, her pronunciation. So Al-Maha videos, okay, just go through it, or some more videos are available. Okay, you can go my own videos, okay, related to second communication skills, BL002 communication skills, where I have taught greetings and introductions in Arabic. So you can go through those videos also. And on Monday we will give you units, go through those units, and come on come to the next session, join this, and hope that becomes really excellent session and you enjoy it. Okay.
Yes.
Sir, one small request I have. You have some excellent videos on Swayam related to communication and basics and all that.
Yeah.
If you can just give the link of that also along with the study material. Those students native speakers or who have not done anything substantial in Arabic, they will have a very good idea about the basics.
Yeah.
So I feel
Good
you
suggestion,
can
sir.
put that also, those links also on to the message that you are going to send to our learners. I feel that will be very helpful.
Yeah, sure.
And also, sir, kindly give us a copy also, so that if any student does not receive it, they can take it from us.
Yeah, sure.
All communication which you send to the learners, kindly put us a copy also, so that we are also
Yeah.
And sir, thank you for that wonderful session. Introduction is the most important thing, according to me, for any study process. If at the introductory stage you find difficulties, then people will find it quite difficult to move ahead. But you have made things so simple, so entertaining, so energized. We are also energized after listening to you. After listening to your session, I'm sure it is only natural that people will be asking for the study material and will be requesting for additional resources, so that they can prepare better and come for the next session. And I feel our students are very enthusiastic, even otherwise. There are a lot of comments, discussions, everything going on in the chat box. And that also inspires us to conduct more sessions and all that. And as you know, our next session will be on next Saturday, same time. And our expert team from headquarters will surely be here. Before concluding, let me once again thank Mohammad Salim sir, Tofail Ahmad sir, my colleague Dr. Pramil, and all meet next week. And till then, wish you a very nice time while studying Arabic. Also enjoy your time. Thank you once and all.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.